Hey crypto bros, hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are and you're enjoying the current state of the market. Today we're going to be talking about Vmpx, whether or not it had a good impact on the Zen ecosystem, what's going to be happening going forward from here, and we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart, what's going to be going on in the month of July to August, what we're expecting for our strategies, and whether or not they're still valid. So let's go ahead and get into the video, guys. We're looking at Vmpx website. If you are looking to basically get into this project, you can do it in two ways. You can go ahead and mint it by going to getvmpx.com. We can see that there's already 64% of the supply already been minted since yesterday, and you can actually go and buy it off the market. So two ways to get into this particular project, guys. So with that being said, let's just see which actual scenario is better for you, whether or not to basically mint it or actually purchase it off of Uniswap. So if you were to go ahead and go to the website, if you wanted to basically mint one batch of Vmpx, you can click on this mint right here, which will give you 200 Vmpx by minting one batch, which costs around $25.50. I don't know if you guys can actually see this. Let me just expand this a lot better. So you can see it costs about $25 to basically mint one batch of this. So with that being said, let's do the math here. So you take $25 or $26 divided by 200, that's how much one batch gives you, which costs around 13 cents overall. Now, if we were to go and look at the price to see how much it is on Uniswap, currently it's sitting around 6.5 cents. So by looking at this, currently right now, it is actually better to go and buy it off of Uniswap than actually minting it. Now, by minting it, you're actually qualifying yourself for the X1 allocation. Now, this is Vmpx on the Ethereum side. However, there was a big fuss in the Zen ecosystem about the allocation that Vmpx is getting for X1 and all that. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the impact that Vmpx had overall. So the impact of this was basically to bring more awareness to the Zen ecosystem by basically driving gas fees up. That's what Jack was intending to do overall. So we currently saw gas fees went up from 25 Gwei all the way to 125 to 150 Gwei. Not bad, very meaningful impact. However, for the long term of the project, to bring in a lot of users, because the actual token doesn't have utility, it's very hard to say how much of an impact this is going to bring overall to the growth of the Zen ecosystem. With that being said, we saw gas fees essentially go up substantially. We can see that Vmpx is actually sitting as the number one burner on Ethereum, making Ethereum more deflationary overall, not making Zen deflationary, but making Ethereum deflationary. That was the whole point of the Zenians, is that, look, Vmpx is not having a big impact on the Zen ecosystem because it's basically not burning Zen. You're actually burning Ethereum instead of Zen, guys. So with that being said, we can see there's about 2,446 Ethereum already have been burned for minting the Vmpx protocol. And that basically equates to, if I'm not mistaken, about $4.5 million. So that's a big impactful play that basically is drawing a different type of crowd overall to this system, again, to this protocol, to the Zen ecosystem. People are going to look at this, they're going to ask, okay, what's Vmpx? Is it tied to Zen somehow? That's yet to be seen, guys. That's yet to be seen. Again, what Vmpx is supposed to be, it's a bridge token, basically providing liquidity back and forth between X1 and, again, from Ethereum to Bitcoin. So it's basically facilitating that bridge transaction by holding Vmpx as the liquidity token, guys. So with that being said, again, this is what it is. This is the impact it had. Going forward, again, this is a long-term play. It doesn't have actual utility yet. We're gonna have to wait for X1 to come out to truly say whether or not this was a good buy or not, guys, whether or not this was a good speculation. So we'll leave it off with that. So let's go ahead and actually jump onto the Zen chart. So as we can see here, again, no impact on the Zen ecosystem, no impact whatsoever on price. We can see that people are actually more fearful. We're sitting around 22, okay, on the fear and greed index, which is, you know, crazy to think because there was so much hype with first principle, you know, model. A lot of these projects coming in wanting to build on the Zen ecosystem, like DBZen, Phoenix, Zendoge, all that cool stuff, basically applying that first principle, you know, no founder allocations, things like that. So we can also see that there is actually more minting going on. There's more supply coming on than the actual burning process. And I think, again, Zen is a long-term play overall. We're going to need that altcoin run that we usually see overall in the, again, Bitcoin realm into the altcoin realm with Ethereum. I think once we start that actual bull market, that's when Zen actually will start to flourish overall. We started to see that on the charts when we started to have that big, again, the run-ups and a lot of these altcoins. Zen was one of the beneficiaries to that, guys. So again, with that being said, if we go back on the chart, we were saying for the past weeks or so, we wanted to see, again, Zen put in these higher highs and higher lows on the lower time frames. Now, we were actually building that structure, again, putting in these higher lows, again, and putting in higher highs. But eventually, there was a big sell-off that came into the market, came back to that key support structure that we've been discussing that Zen needs to continue to hold on to in order for us to continue maneuvering away to higher price points on the macro timescale. So if we actually look on the daily, guys, we can see that, again, we were saying this is a particular key support structure that we need to hold right here. And we're currently holding that. However, if we actually break below this particular support structure, I see Zen actually coming and retesting the lows and even going below the lows because there's more of that mint supply coming out. A lot of these people, of these investors, are coming and basically dumping it on the market because they don't have any future, they don't see any future value in it. Now, with that being said, if we actually take our extrapolation point from the local bottom of this particular move to the local top of this, we can see that basically we're holding at the 786 Fibonacci support structure, which is a very key support structure when you look at Fibonacci tool. Now, if we were to break below that, we are coming back and retracing 100% of this particular move and even most likely going even lower, setting newer lower lows from there, guys. So that's basically what I see happening with the Zen ecosystem. We need to continue to maintain this particular support structure around the 1198. If we don't, we're coming back, retesting the lows of the 685, guys. So again, that's basically what's happening with the Zen chart. Let's move on to Bitcoin, guys. Before we do, if you haven't followed me on Twitter, guys, I do post trading calls there. So if you are interested in taking the same trades that I do, again, this is not financial advice, guys. I go based off of probabilities and statistics on my strategies to be on the winning side of the market. Now, again, do what you will with this information. However, if you enjoy content like this, let me know in the comment section. What would you like more to see? Would you like to see more content on Zen? Or would you like to see more content on probabilities and statistics and taking a lot of these trades and showing you what I'm personally doing on my portfolio, guys? So again, that's basically what's happening. If you haven't followed me on Twitter, go ahead and follow me there. If you like content like this, give this video a thumbs up. It's much appreciated, guys. So let's go ahead and get into Bitcoin chart, guys. So again, we're talking about this particular trade. There is a 63% probability that we're going to see some upside movement. Now, we were actually in the right direction in the beginning of this particular trade. However, the sellers did come into the market and it actually drove us all the way to the lows of 30,226. Now, we did say our stop loss is around 30,200. Now, depending on which exchange you're actually trading on, this will vary where your stop loss should have been, guys. So again, my stop loss was set around 30,200. With that being said, I am still in this particular trade. However, the average days for this to complete would have been just around today, guys. So today would have been the completion average move for this particular setup. So with that being said, I am still in this trade. I am still maintaining this trade overall. If it hits my stop loss, it hits my stop loss. It basically goes in the loss column. But with that being said, I still have a macro play. Okay, I still have a macro strategy in play that I am still in that particular trade. And that is basically the one we've been discussing for the past month, guys. We've been saying, look, usually you have a 90 to 100% strike rate, very high probabilities on this particular move. We see that when it comes to the 55-day moving average, usually that brings us about 49% in average. Now, with that being said, we've already seen from that move, we've already seen about 23% upside move with that, which is in particularly good. Sorry, actually this is on the 5-day. Let's go to the 2-day, guys. We've already seen from this particular move right here that we've already seen 16 to 17 14 to 15% upside move in this particular strategy. Now, usually what this strategy tells us is that we're more likely to see the 38,000 side of this. Now, again, these are all probabilities and statistics. That doesn't mean that it could basically reach 38,000. I have taken some profits off of this particular trade and letting basically the rest ride out. Now, with that being said, I do want you to pay attention to something which is happening on the daily here. We are seeing lower highs being put in on the oscillator, which is the MACD, reverse MACD, and we are starting to see basically higher highs get put in on price action. Now, usually when you start to see this indicates reversal in direction. Okay, so meaning momentum is actually shifting to the bearish side because we are starting to see us putting in regular bearish divergence, guys. So you start to get lower highs followed by higher highs on price action. You're starting to put regular divergence on price. So with that being said, this is actually going to get confirmed once we start to see a daily closure below 30,174. We're currently, again, sitting about $250 above that particular price action. However, if we start to close a daily below that, then we're going to start to see the cross, and that will basically confirm the particular divergence for us. With that being said, we can see that the CME group, guys, if you actually go to cmegroup.com, we can see that here they're suggesting that there's going to be an 88% probability that there's going to be a rate hike. So we're going to go a 0.25 up. And if that's the case, then most likely Bitcoin can start to trade back in this consolidation area that we've been consolidating in since March, guys, right here. So we can come back all the way down here and start consolidating again. Now, if we actually stall in rate hikes, if there is no change, which is about 11% probabilities is from what they're indicating, then I see this as a bullish scenario for Bitcoin to continue the momentum for this particular strategy overall. And it's showing here that there is 0% ease that they're basically gonna reverse and start lowering again the rate hikes. So with that being said, we're looking at no change, which is good overall, and that they're going to be lowering, which there's 0% chance that's going to happen. But if there isn't a hike, I think we can come back and reconsolidate in that area. Again, the Fed meeting is expected to happen around the 26th of July, which kind of matches up when this particular, again, the strategy basically finishes, which is around end of July, leading into August, guys. So whether or not Bitcoin wants to start its move back up, it does have the opportunity to do here. Again, I leave you with that. Whatever you do with this information is your will. At the end of the day, guys, I'm just showing you my trades, my statistics, my probabilities of what I'm seeing overall. Let me know if you enjoy the content. Give this video a thumbs up. Until next time, bros. As always, stay profitable.